The mics are hot, and so's the gossip. Let's get into it in 3. Welcome to In 3. I'm Danielle Graham.
And I'm Callie.
And I have not seen you since our Taco Bell experience.
Yeah, because I've been in the bathroom the whole time.
Were you okay?
I was okay. I tried to manage how many bites I took. So for those who didn't catch us on the gram last week after our episode where I revealed that I've never had Taco Bell.
The shame.
I did, in fact, stay true to my word.
Uh-huh.
And we did a whole tasting.
And you liked the crunch wrap, I think.
I don't know that I would say it quite like that.
Okay.
I think I would say didn't feel like my taste buds were as assaulted as I thought that they would be. Like it just wasn't overwhelming. So in that way, that was fine. Mm-hmm. The fries, on the other hand, like that was a no-go zone.
Okay.
I tasted it and I was like, this will make me violently ill.
Right.
But it was a fun adventure.
It was. And as a result, Taco Bell slid into our DMs and now we've been invited to a Taco Bell event.
Officially Taco Bell influencers. Thank you.
Which I love so much. Mm-hmm. This could not be more off-brand for you.
Yeah, quite literally like having a bit of a crisis,
yes.
An identity crisis. But I'm just like leaning into all the love.
Yes.
And I truly believe in balance. I built a whole business on being balanced, you know, the 80-20, if you will.
Yeah.
I think we can live within those boundaries and still be healthful and still have a bite of Taco Bell.
Yeah. I mean, I like more than one bite.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel very passionately about queso and Tex-Mex and Taco Bell. So
and the BTS was like,
yeah.
Randall, there's Taco Bell on the counter. Randall comes running down, finishes what I didn't eat, which is perfect. No waste.
No waste. No.
Which is the complete opposite of what's going on in the food world online, which is a lot of waste and a lot of just excessiveness.
Are we talking about that strawberry?
We're talking about the $20 strawberry at Air One.
Honestly, past generations are horrified at our behaviors and I'm not even going to put me in this, at what we're seeing online with this $20 overly packaged in a whole case strawberry.
A single strawberry.
Uno.
In a packaging that kind of looks like, you know, the rose from
like Beauty and the
Beauty
Beast?
and the Beast.
Tale as old as time.
Literally, but not. This is not a tale as old as time. This is a shameful tale of excess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so $20 for a single strawberry. I won't even buy a package of strawberries if they're like over $5.
Yeah. I had to think when I went to Costco this week and spent $12 on a thing of strawberries. Do my kids need these now? It was big Costco size and they're big and they're delish. But I had to think about it because it was still $12 for a container of strawberries. I could not in a million years justify this strawberry. And everyone who's sampled it from what I could see on TikTok is saying it is the best strawberry. La la la. Have you had an Ontario strawberry in peak Ontario strawberry season? They are perfect. And I can guarantee you this strawberry from Japan, by the way, like it has been imported from Japan. There's no way that strawberry, I don't care what you say, competes with what we have here in our province.
Stamped it. You hear that?
Yes.
Strawberry farmers?
Yeah. Ontario strawberries will beat a $20 Japanese strawberry all day, every day.
Let's get them in here when it's strawberry season.
Let's sample. I am no Meghan Markle, but jam is also my jam.
Jam is your jam.
Okay. This week's show, guys, we are not talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Oh my God. Praise the Lord.
Right?
I am so happy to have a Blake Lively free episode.
Hallelujah. I think everyone needs a break from this story. And there's just so much to talk about. So we are not talking about them, but we are talking about the SAG Awards, which happened over the weekend.
Yes.
The last award show before the Oscars, which are on Sunday.
Big one. I think this is one that that actors really take so seriously because it is the voting of their peers and colleagues.
Yeah.
And it's always a fun one because I think everyone's kind of like letting loose before the big game.
Yeah, the end is in sight at the SAGs.
Yeah.
And then we do have to talk about Justin Bieber. There's just been a lot that we've seen of him, and some concerns, and so we're gonna check in on the Biebs.
Yeah, and then we're gonna dive into the latest in the Diddy trial,
right?
Which I think it's miraculous that we haven't talked about it really in depth yet so far in our 9 episodes.
Yay!
But it's eight episodes?
I don't know.
Oh, well, anyway, 8 or 9. And then we have to talk about
FyreFest.
What?
Part 2.
Who knew?
There's so much to talk about with this.
Yes. And yet nothing at all.
But really, though, the details are something to be seen and
Savored.
heard.
Yes.
They really are. So I'm really excited to get to that topic.
You really fought for this one.
I really did fight for this one because it's just so ridiculous.
It is absurd.
And I really do love the absurd, and I do love outrageous behavior. It's one of my favorite things. And this is outrageous behavior.
And I love entrepreneurial tales like this. I mean, I both love them and hate them. Like it is a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And yet something that like I have obsessed over the years as a business owner. Like, oh my God, it better not be FyreFestival. like the amount of times I've actually referenced it in my life.
Serious?
Yeah.
That's what goes through your mind when you're launching something as an entrepreneur. It better not, like the worst case scenario is FyreFestival.
Yeah. And it like crosses your mind. You're like, because everything's always just feels so slightly out of reach. And you're like, well, is it as out of reach as that was?
FyreFestival?
And then it just was, anyway, we'll talk about it. But yeah, it actually holds a lot of relevancy in my life.
SAG Awards.
Awards.
Such a fun night. So many fun moments. So many, great speeches. I think, Timothée Chalamet was so sweet in his acceptance speech. His mom was his date.
Yes.
Which I loved.
And again, not an episode goes by without us referencing Dear Timmy.
Yeah, he really is topic numero uno.
Sneaks his way in there every single time. But yeah, he's the youngest recipient of the Best Actor award.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's even more special.
And I think the cutest part about it is he really wasn't expecting to win. He hasn't been the front runner, right? It's been Adrian Brody. So it came as a surprise. He admitted backstage that he had written a speech for all of the other awards shows and then decided like, why would I do it this time? It's just like not happening. And then of course he wins, which I think is kind of like, it's a nod to the universe, like a little wing.
Yeah.
Like when you least expect it. Kylie, of course, has been on his award show run with him. The reason why she wasn't able to attend is because she had a tragedy in her friend group.
Of course.
Her hairstylist,
of course,
tragically passed away. So I do believe that's why she wasn't there. I wonder if she'll be with him for the Oscars. I think so. They have been really out there together. They haven't walked a carpet yet, which I would love to see next weekend.
I think it'll happen.
Now, okay, so the Kardashian-Jenner clan are really known for their sort of monochromatic vibes.
Yep, that's the palette.
So I wonder what they think about Timmy's ensembles.
The lime green?
It's the lime green. It's like the brat green silk shirt.
Yeah.
It's also the entire pink getup that he wore. I think it was in Berlin. Literally head to toe pink, which could not be less on brand for the Kardashians. It's basically like synonymous with me and Taco Bell is like pink and the Kardashians.
It's like dopamine dressing is not their thing.
It's not the vibe.
And he's so dopamine-y right now.
And I wonder what that dialogue sounds like in the Kardashian household.
Well, I guess if she is so monochromatic, he can do anything because there's no way that they're going to kind of clash because hers will always be one tone. So he can go wild with his look.
Right.
She's not going to do that. I love when you mention the universe because I loved in his speech when he said he wants to achieve greatness and he wants to be one of the greatest of all times. And I was like, speak that into existence. Say it, because I really think he is becoming that. He is. I think he's closer to that than he may believe. I thought that was really sweet, and I love his mom was so proud. And every time I see a mom watching their child in those moments, I cry because I'm like, can you just imagine what
that must feel like?
Yeah. And the work and the sacrifice and the disappointments and it just must be an incredible feeling.
I think a lot of people really loved seeing Adam Brody and Leighton Meester. I have to be honest. When I saw the first clip of them together on the carpet, I actually didn't recognize her.
I know.
She's giving Lilo.
Yeah.
She's had a whole glow up.
Yeah.
long red hair, not a bang in sight.
That was the key, though. She ditched that. It was not quite a micro bang, but it was a shorter bang.
Yeah.
It wasn't, that Sienna Miller kind of fringy bang that I love. It was a bit blunt and a bit harsh, I think, for her. Mm-hmm. This swoopy hair was so good.
Ooh, girl, she looks good.
She looks so good.
She looks good. I love
And they're all over each other.
Oh, yeah. No, they're into it.
They're super into each other.
It's hot.
It's very
hot. And
I love that.
As we also know, she has been cast in the next season of Nobody Wants This.
Don't you love that?
Everybody wants to see Leighton Meester and Adam Brody share the screen. She will be playing Kristen Bell's nemesis from high school.
I didn't know that.
Who is now a mommy influencer. So I feel like it's going to be almost like Blair Waldorf 2.0.
Yeah.
Which I'm really excited about.
I love that. Oh, that's such a great character. What a great storyline.
Totally.
As if we weren't already excited enough about the second season of that show.
I know.
This adds that whole other layer.
I know.
It's so great.
I really love that show. I appreciate that show for what it's done for like the Jewish community and just breathing some life where we kind of need it right now.
I also loved the moment of Selena Gomez and Only Murders in the Building winning. Totally, again, an unexpected win.
Yeah.
That's what she said in her speech. Like, this is wild. We never win. I love that she thanked Martin Short and Steve Martin for raising her.
So
I thought it was so cute. Just a really, really sweet moment. Marty got COVID from the SNL 50 party, apparently.
Well, apparently there's been some super spreader events in Hollywood because also Colin Farrell and Jamie Lee Curtis had a moment on stage where she was like giving the award to Colin and saying basically he gave me COVID from the Globes.
Yeah.
Funny and
Hilarious.
very relatable.
Selena had quite a...
Can we? Yeah. We need to talk about Selena's glow up.
Yeah. Selena, when she stepped out, I thought, oh my God, she looks so gorgeous. Yeah. But just really different than recent photos and images and videos we've seen of her. If we're talking about the Interview magazine, which we talked about last week, which I know could have been shot several months in the past because that's just how publications can work. But she just looked very different.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She looks amazing. She always looks amazing. I do want to say, as someone who has struggled with chronic health issues in my life, that is totally something that could happen and has happened to me before. Your inflammation goes down.
Right.
You're feeling well. It feels like her life is kind of like in step. She's in step right now. She's very aligned. Things are flowing. And I feel like I always say when people say to me like, you look great, and when what they mean is you've lost weight.
Right.
My first thought is I feel great. And when I feel great, that translates into how I look almost 100% of the time. So
that's a good point.
I'm happy for her because I feel like it's just another reflection of her life kind of really going in a positive direction.
Yeah.
And I hold so much space for people with chronic illness, and those shifts can happen in the right direction and in the wrong direction, like at the blink of an eye. And it's really, really challenging.
Of course.
You know, your main focus is your health, but especially if you're in the spotlight, you know, those fluctuations in how you look are incredibly difficult to deal with.
Yeah, those would be very hard waves to ride. They really would be.
Look at that, and I think she must be feeling amazing.
You know who else looked really happy? Ariana Grande and Ethan Slater. Now, they did not walk the carpet together.
No, still have not done that.
I think that's going to happen on Sunday. It has to. It's the end. Like you went this far.
This is your moment.
So, but the inside, they did have a couple touchy-feely moments. Some were a little bit awkward, actually, because it was like they didn't want to be caught.
Oh, really?
But it's like, guys, we know.
Yeah, like jig is up.
We know you left your spouses. I think because she has really absorbed this Glinda character. Like, it's not even a character anymore.
No,
it's kind of who she is.
She's embodied it.
She's embodied it.
Fully embodied.
She's just wearing the pink all the time.
The pink,
the hands,
and the angelic persona, and the sweetness of her voice that has risen about 10 octaves from where it was. It's it'll be interesting to see, you know, like it's kind of like an Austin Butler Elvis thing. And he did say it took him time to like lose that Elvis accent and like kind of carrying the vibe of that character with him for so long. I do feel like that's happened to Ariana. I feel like it'll be interesting to see what happens next in her image.
Is she going to turn into a pumpkin after the Oscars? Like when the pink dresses are done? It's
I just can't with the dresses. Like,
I know.
It's just not even fashion to me. Like it's like she went into like a prom, like David's bridal prom.
Lots of tulle.
Yeah. It's just, it's not even cute. Like at least Cynthia Erivo, who,
oh my God, that outfit was
like,
so great.
it's just like the edge and the fashion and the vibe. Like it's giving so much to the fashion world. Ariana has gone like the opposite direction. Like it's giving opposite of fashion.
It is.
Yeah. Can we touch in on Demi Moore for a second?
Of course.
Okay.
We always have time for Demi Moore, especially right now.
For Demi.
Always.
She won the SAG for Best Actress. And
another great speech.
Still the front runner for next week. So fingers crossed for Demi. I hope she takes it all the way to the gold. When she was at the Globes, we sat here and we talked about her potential new romance with one Andrew Garfield.
Yes.
It turns out that's not happening.
Did you just break my heart today?
I'm so sorry.
What? What do you mean? Not happening anymore or was never happening?
Well, that remains to be seen, but he's in a full new romance.
What?
With the actress from A Complete Unknown.
Full romance?
Yeah.
What happened? What have you seen? What do we know?
Well,
are there photos? Is there evidence?
Her name is Monica Barbaro.
Okay.
And she is the lead in A Complete Unknown with Timmy.
Right.
They have been seen multiple times together, including on dates at the theater and a few other moments. And apparently we're at some after parties together this past weekend. So it looks like that might be a full-on item. But I don't know.
That makes me sad.
I know, me too.
I really liked this pairing. But at the same time, I'm still happy for Demi because she does seem to be having a really well-deserved moment of acknowledgement and respect and appreciation for her work and for who she is. I loved her speech where she said, you know, getting her SAG card gave her purpose and direction, and how she learned from all the people in the room. Like, if she's writing her speeches, which I think she is, she should then start a kind of a consulting business to write for others. Yeah, like Kieran Culkin could have used some help. You know, I get the fumbly cute thing, but sometimes it's really nice to hear people speak from the heart in really meaningful ways.
Yeah, I love that.
She's going to win on Sunday.
Yeah, she probably will.
That's very exciting.
Oh my God. So what are you like most excited about for the Oscars?
I mean, I love the red carpet, obviously, having covered it for many years.
Yeah. What's the standout from your time covering the carpet that you feel like really stands out in your mind when you think about it?
I think it's just it's seeing it and seeing the preparation that goes into it and watching the cameras of arrivals when people start to come, because it starts off slow and you're like, okay, I'm getting some of the some of the directors and the producers still very important and significant, but like we want to see people in like dresses and stuff.
Yeah. And
then when you get to see the monitors of the arrival area where they come out of their cars and you get the first peak of a celebrity, like the first peak of a top of a dress or of some kind of look, you're like, oh my God.
Yes.
That part is really fun.
Yeah.
But it is a really wild and fun experience. It really is something to see.
Yeah.
It is. I have really great memories of it. Except for the year I got so sick afterwards, I ended up in the hospital pregnant.
No.
Yeah, I was pregnant with B.
Oh.
I got so sick.
Well, that's a grind for someone who's in like peak physical condition. So.
Yeah. I also went to one like 5 weeks after having Marigold.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I sure did. I was pumping minutes to air. Just really squeezed myself into a dress to make it happen. Yeah, all worth it. All really great memories.
And fun fact, we did go to both of our first Oscars was the same year that we were both there. We babies.
What year would that have been?
2007?
I was going to say.
2006 or 2007.
Yeah, that
for
tracks.
Sure. I was going to say it's like it was a Daniel Day-Lewis year, but that doesn't really narrow it down.
We could probably go figure out what year that was.
Yeah, we could. But I remember just being like, oh my God, Danielle's here. And then we were like hanging out.
At the pool at the Roosevelt.
Yeah, at the Roosevelt back when,
yeah,
there was budget for those things.
Yeah. Those are really great memes. They really are. They are.
Yeah.
But I will say I do love watching the Oscars from home. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It was also the first date Randall and I ever had. We watched the Oscars together.
That's right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of really like special memories attached. So I'm looking forward to Sunday very much.
I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I'm
me
so
too.
excited.
It's going to be great. Okay, shall we move on to Justin Bieber? And
the Biebs. Honestly, like this doesn't bring me joy. I love the Biebs. We love the Biebs. We are so
very
deeply
much
rooting for him.
Very much.
So in fact, there have been alarm bells for a couple of weeks now. I mean, we've been talking about the weirdness that's been going on in their relationship, the social media stuff that's been a bit strange, the unfollows of his team, and then the unfollow, did he or didn't he unfollow Hailey, and then the bong photos, and it's been thing after thing after thing. And every time we think that they kind of get back on their feet, another thing happens and we're like, wait, something is seriously sus.
Yeah, are you good over there?
Are you good?
Right.
So most recently, Hailey had a road event and Justin came with, which is great. Love that. Love that they're together. Love that they're stepping out together. Love that he's supporting her. First of all, also, if you are looking for a new lip liner, those new road lip liners are insane, but I digress. Just in case you needed to know.
And listen, Callie knows her lip liners.
I know about a lip liner.
She does.
I'm sure you guys all know that now.
Yeah, that is your thing.
But his behavior, and this was even before we recorded last week, those pictures came out and we kind of were just like, no. Let's like not, let's leave it alone. Let's not pick that apart right now. That's not what they need. But as more footage came out of his behavior that day,
I know.
And the photographs and the videos of him with very strange mannerisms. He looks very gaunt. His outfits are always strange, but I mean, like, I don't know how you hold up a pair of pants that are just sitting above the knee.
But he really wasn't, and that's why he kept pulling at his pants and pulling it kind of at his crotch area. You're right, and the smile was really...
It was tweaky.
That's what people were saying, and there have been kind of some speculation. Yeah. There has been some speculation of drug use, which is awful,
terrible,
awful to think about. And we're obviously not going to claim that is what's happening. And
we're not insinuating that, but it definitely. We all looked at those photos and thought, that's off.
But the way he was speaking to that one person at the event, that video that's been like all over everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like smiling strangely and really fidgeting. Very fidgety. Mm-hmm. And exactly, looks very, very thin. And you're right. The outfits are always a bit strange, but this was like, that shoe was so big. It was this huge, it was like the size of a bread box. One shoe. They were so big.
Yeah.
And he just didn't look...
He didn't look well.
Right. But then we saw him at the hockey game.
Right. So he
LA.
He played in the LA Fyre's charity hockey game.
Yeah.
A few days ago, and sounded normal.
Totally.
He was asked about obviously he's Canadian, so he loves hockey, he loves skating, he loves like winter sports.
Huge Leafs fan. And somebody got him in the box. What do you call that? Whatever. He was on the bench. Nice, Cal. Great job.
I really came with that one. He was on the bench and they asked him about like when they're going to get Baby Jack Blues on skates. And he said like, it can't come soon enough kind of thing. Like there's
really
nothing.
Cute.
It'll never be too early. And he sounded great. So I don't know if that was just a bad day at the road event, and his reps came out and said that it's absolutely not true, that he's sober, this has nothing to do with drug use, that he's exhausted because yes, he's a new father, which okay, I mean, I don't know.
His rep did say he's also like, he denied the drug use, but also that he doesn't care what anybody thinks. He doesn't care. It's like he's just doing what he wants to do, wearing what he wants to wear, acting how he wants to act, doesn't care, which has kind of been his thing for a little while, I think.
Yeah.
He hasn't cared what people think.
And that's fine. I think it's fine to not care about what people think about what you're wearing. I think it's difficult to excuse away his erratic behavior by saying he just doesn't care. Okay, maybe. I mean, these child stars, and that's certainly how I would describe Justin.
Absolutely.
They have been through so much. It's, when you talk about someone not caring about what people think and rebelling against sort of being in favor with the people, it reminds me a little bit of like Britney's hair shaving incident, where they're just sort of like fuck it. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and no one can tell me. And I'm not going to be, I'm not going to live by what everybody else thinks. And that's fine as long as, you're well and being a responsible father and partner, and that you're not in danger to yourself or others. It wouldn't be a huge stretch to think that he was having some mental health issues as a result of the Diddy trial.
That's right.
Because there have been some implications that Justin was a part of the misconduct and abuse that went on back in the day when he lived with Diddy. As a teenager.
Yep. And, we have never talked about it. Maybe we could. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. The Yummy video and the kind of the messages behind that.
Yeah.
And did you see he's unfollowed Diddy now?
Oh, has he?
Yeah, he's unfollowed Diddy. Oh. He went on another unfollowing spree, actually.
No, I didn't hear this. Okay, wait.
So he went...
Upload me.
Yeah, he went on another unfollow spree, unfollowed Diddy, unfollowed Benny Blanco.
No. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That sounds
Why, though?
That sounds petty.
But
okay.
But if you don't care, like you claim.
I guess if you're on a roll and you're just like, nope.
You just did that, actually.
Nope. Yeah, I just unfollowed 1,000 people. So I kind of get it.
Yeah.
Although, they're not my abusers, thank God, and not to make light of it.
Of course.
Thank God he unfollowed Diddy, because that seemed like, oh, you're going to unfollow all these people who you feel didn't have your back, but you're not going to unfollow the one person who
That's right.
Who clearly was not having your best interests at heart.
Yeah, weeks ago we talked about the unfollowing of Usher, but the continued following of Diddy. So now Diddy's out, Benny Blanco's out, Drake has been unfollowed.
Bye.
Co-sign it.
Yeah.
I don't follow him.
Stamped it.
Yeah. And The Weeknd.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Well, The Weeknd is just gross and creepy. So he could just be like, yuck, like the rest of us. We are fast approaching Diddy's trial, as we said.
Isn't that wild? It feels like it was so long ago when all this story started to come out. Like, oh, that feels so far off. It's early May is when his trial is set to begin. Mm-hmm. Wild.
Some interesting developments now with his lawyer quitting the team and saying he absolutely under no circumstances can continue to defend Diddy.
That's right. He has one of 6 lawyers. This is a very big deal lawyer.
Not a great look. Actually, in fact, so if we're talking about like someone's moral compass and what could possibly he have seen or been introduced to in the case that would make him want to take himself off the team. This man defended Osama bin Laden.
He sure did. This man defended Osama bin Laden and said, "I'm sorry, Sean Combs. This is where it's gone too far. This is my line."
You defended an actual terrorist.
Yeah.
And now are saying that what you've seen here in this Diddy trial has gone too far and it is against your morals. I think he didn't say that, but that's what it's implying, if you ask me.
Yeah, he's saying, can't see anything without my glasses.
Oh boy.
It's so bad. I'm not laughing at any of this, obviously. It's just my vision is just declining so quickly. Yeah, he said under no circumstances can I continue. So the trial that we're about to see, well, we won't see it because I don't think it's going to be televised, but the trial that's about to start in May is the 3 trafficking cases of the trafficking of 3 women,
right,
and racketeering. So, and he's denied all of those. There's also there's a class action lawsuit of over 120 people, and there's also separate lawsuits outside of that. So the one we're focusing on for May is the FBI raid, 3 women, racketeering, trafficking, and this. And the lawyer's saying, no, sir, I can't participate in this. Now, we won't know what he saw because of the attorney-client privilege piece.
Right.
We don't know what evidence he saw that has made him say, I can't do this anymore.
Not a great look.
No, it's not great.
Not a great
It's
look.
not great.
I mean, not that there was ever a great look for Diddy.
No.
I think people were uncertain how the Jay-Z lawsuit being dismissed last week was going to impact sort of like the court of public opinion and what was happening in that case. But nope, we're right back where we started, which is allegedly in air quotes, Diddy is a monster.
Yep.
And even his lawyers who have defended the most monstrous people.
Heinous people on planet Earth.
Cannot, in good conscience, defend him.
And this is the beginning of a very, 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 very long road for Diddy. This first trial and then everything else and all the other. And the other lawsuits just keep coming out. Tony Busby, the 1-800 lawyer, as Jay-Z like to call him, I think just filed 7 more lawsuits on behalf of alleged
Busby
victims.
is not slowing down.
No.
And, the verdict is still out if there was some kind of payoff in the dismissal of that lawsuit. I know that's not a popular thing to say.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I think from a legal standpoint, if there had been a settlement, they can't say what they said. So people assume that because it was just dismissed with prejudice, which means that it can't be filed again, that it meant that there was no settlement, as in he didn't pay anyone to let it go. But some of the legal experts on social media, so grain of salt, are saying that it could be possible that somebody went and paid off this person sort of under the radar, which could happen. I mean, they've done so many things under the radar.
No kidding.
To me, that's not out of the realm of possibilities. I know I don't have always the most popular takes on these things. I also don't want Jay-Z to be a monster. However, as we know, I have a difficult time not believing women.
Wow. I love your takes. What do you mean not popular opinions and not popular takes? I think
just
it's great.
Don't go on TikTok and read any of those comments.
Listen, I'm getting them too.
I love it.
Who gave you guys cameras and mics? Or not
some people just shouldn't be given a mic.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Just ask the podcast trending list on Apple.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we are weeks away from seeing how this goes.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think it's going to crescendo. And especially now that we're not talking about, the Blake and Justin of it all.
Mm-hmm. It's over to you, Diddy.
Yeah. Over to you.
Yeah.
You thought you were going to
fall
under the radar? Absolutely not.
There was less heat on him at the top of 2025.
Yeah.
Thanks to Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. But now
much less than I expected.
We're watching you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think as we move closer to the trial, we will be seeing more of this. And I think, as I've said before, many, 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 many names will be thrown into the mix here. So I think we're about to come up on a extremely memorable time where there will be a lot of bombshells revealed about a lot of people.
Yep.
And people are scrambling.
They are. Mm-hmm. When you said hot seat, at that moment, I was like, speaking of hot, Fyre Festival.
Yeah.
It's just the segue that we needed to get us to this last story that I could not have imagined I would have learned about. I just couldn't imagine that FyreFest would come back. And yet here we are.
Here we are.
FyreFest2, everybody.
Now, I can't imagine spending 1 red cent.
Nice Jay-Z quote.
On anything to do with this. Like anyone that buys a ticket to FyreFestival2 in good conscience gives their money to this man who has just spent 6 years in prison after fraudulently accepting money from ticket goers or festival goers, as well as investors. Like, you need to get your head checked.
Yeah. And also the audacity of him, Billy McFarland, saying, you know what?
You know what I'm going to do getting out of prison?
Yeah, I'm actually
doubling down.
Let's reinvigorate that. Let's bring back FyreFest. That's the ticket. Let's do it. If I just had an ounce of the Billy McFarland confidence, I could take over this world.
You said it.
That man.
You said it. If we could all just have one small slice of the inflated sense of self that he has after he created what is like one of the most iconically tragic and disastrous pop culture moments of all time.
And one of the greatest Netflix documentaries I've ever seen. The greatest party that never happened is what they call it. And the details for the new one are just astounding. Okay, so it's going to take place in Mexico. from May 30th to June 2nd. That is very close approaching. That is very fast approaching. It's coming up. But are you ready for this?
Yeah.
He claims, Billy said in an interview, they pushed it back by a month to give our partners time to get ready.
Yep.
Does this sound familiar?
I mean, it is literally play by play the exact same situation.
No, this is coming up in a matter of weeks. I actually went on the website just to check out the tickets.
Okay.
And it's got a countdown on. It's in the matter of days, like double-digit days.
Do we know if people have actually purchased tickets?
Okay, we don't know that. I did click into the ticket section. The tickets range from $1,100. That's your base package. $1.1 million.
$1.1 million.
Billy has said he's not handling the planning and the details himself. He's actually, he learns up that he hired an event manager.
Oh, well, good. God bless.
But my favorite part of this whole story is that no musical acts have been announced. No one is booked. No one is confirmed. No one is, as far as we know, going to perform at FyreFest.
If you're an artist, are you touching this with a 10-foot pole? Like, realistically speaking, Ja Rule almost went to jail for this.
Yeah, Ja Rule was in huge trouble for this. And have we heard a word from Ja Rule since?
Absolutely not. He's been off the radar.
Yeah.
The fact that he has the audacity to come out of prison and say, I'm going to do this again.
Start a website. How could you know what it's like to raise money. You know what it's like to get people invested in your ideas.
It's really hard.
It's really, really hard, right?
Who's giving this man $1?
So he pitches something. Someone's like, let me just look up this Billy McFarland guy real quick and see what he's Oh, he's this guy. The guy with the fake credit card scam. Remember that whole thing?
Oh my God, yeah. Well, he's like, he was so cash poor because he was spending so rapidly. I mean, he's brilliant in his fraudulence.
Such a great salesman too.
Let's let them know that it's a cashless event and they're going to have to load money onto their credit cards at the Fyre Festival, and that will give me money to spend that I don't have to get ready for this event
that's never going to happen. That was disaster relief tents and white bread with processed cheese as food. That was it.
Literal nightmare.
I know it would be. I mean, everything about that for me is a nightmare because it's like the stranded piece. There's nothing for me that's more like paralyzing fear-wise than being stranded and stuck somewhere and not without a plan to get out or without a way to get out.
Well, honestly, I feel like they're lucky that people didn't like loot and murder each other.
It could have been really bad. Well, they're going back for it. And my favorite part was reading the comments section when this news dropped. By the way, they still have their Instagram. The original Instagram from FyreFest1 is still the one they're using. But guess what? They didn't delete any of the old stuff.
No.
But there's people...
What?
The internet really does bring joy sometimes. Some of the comments are, is Ja Rule confirmed? I heard Tupac and Biggie are going to be there. And perfect. This one's for you, Callie. FyreFest2, brought to you by Temu.
Yes. Right? I mean... Not a terrible partnership idea.
No, it really does work. I wonder if they specialize in tents at all.
Get those Timo tents in there.
And there was other people who were like tagging their friends saying, I'm down.
No.
Yes.
Who are these people?
I don't know, Kelly. They're not you and I.
This is Gen Z.
I know.
This is very Gen Z.
I can't wait for the next doc.
What weekends did you say it was?
It's May 30th to June 2nd. Are you blocking off some time mentally?
I just want to make sure I'm sat and watching. Like, I just want to see it all unfold.
We all do.
Do you think they're going to make it all the way there? Like, do you think people are going to give this man their money?
I don't know. He's really doubled down. He said it's happening, and he said there's an event person.
Well, he said a lot of things.
I'm going to start
things. This man.
That's a good point. I'm going to start following the account just to see if anything.
Okay, you keep us posted.
Comes up announcement wise of the first artist to say, you know what, I'm in.
Yeah.
Just needs if you build it, they will come. It just needs one.
You only need one like that's the thing. But every entrepreneur you have to have some kind of delulu.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a little bit delusional and like really believe that things are going to come together, even when it feels like absolutely nothing is going your way. And entrepreneurs, we are relentless. We are determined. We are resilient.
Yeah.
And he's an example of someone who just did had like zero grasp on what was actually happening in reality.
Yeah.
And like would just fire anyone who told him like, this is not a good idea. We see this going badly. Maybe want to watch out for this. I think he had a lot of people on his team who were like, hey, let's postpone.
Lots of people said, we're not ready to do this.
Like, no.
Like an epic disaster. And yet
Shame.
Here we are, weeks away from the second one happening. If you go to FyreFest2, that is on you. You know what you're getting into this time around.
Yeah.
And please share everything on social media when you do.
Yes, we want to know.
We want to know what's going on because
in.
not for love or money. They could offer us the $1.4 million ticket and I'd say, I'm not doing this.
Absolutely
I'm not going over there.
I don't believe there are any yachts.
No.
I don't
believe. Oh, that's the other thing. It's not just music. It's going to have other experiences.
Right.
Sorry.
Maybe like a skateboarding demo.
Or an MMA demo. I thought this actually could work for you. If you could go and like teach boxing, maybe. Right. You could be a part of this historic event.
That's really what I want to put my name on.
FyreFest.
Catch me at FyreFest doing a combat sports demo. I mean,
add it to your LinkedIn.
I mean,
oh, I love it. I love it.
It's hilarious.
We are wrapping up the show. This is where the wheels fall off every week.
It really does.
Our wrap-ups are atrocious.
They're so awkward.
They're so bad.
I think it's because we don't want to say goodbye.
We don't want to say goodbye, but we really never nail the ending.
We don't.
We nail, I think, most of the rest of it.
Yeah, everything flows until we're like, anyways.
How do we say goodbye?
See ya. No, but I guess, yeah. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts and it doesn't always feel like everyone's struggling like the way we are.
We're doing it again. No, we're saying goodbye. We're derailing. This is it. We've had a lot of fun.
This is it. It was great.
It's great
chatting.
We're working on it,
FyreFest.
everybody.
What a shame.
See you next week. Oscars episode.
Yeah, big one next week. So excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And that's it.
That's it. Another awkward goodbye brought to you by Callie and Danielle. Love you. Bye. Mwah. Bye.